Welcome to another World of Tanks subscriber replay. My name as always is Maxwell and today's video is from the user Werewolf20. That's Werewolf20 and he's driving the VK4502P on a standard battle on the Arctic region. And so the VK4502P, Ausf, to give it its full name, god that is a mouthful, is the tier 9 heavy tank for the Germans, the one just before the mouse. This is actually the first tier 9 tank that I ever bought, and I will say that when I first used it, before getting any upgrades and before learning how to use it, I absolutely hated it. Pretty much because of that rear mounted turret. It just makes peekabooing around buildings and things very, very difficult with this tank. The only real way to do it properly is to reverse, but then the rear armour will be exposed. One thing this tank is great at though is what's called side scraping, where you have your side armour exposed at a very oblique angle, so the chances of the enemy being able to penetrate are very, very slim, and there's almost 100% chance of getting a ricochet when you do it properly. And because the turret is mounted on the rear of this thing, you only have to reverse a very, very slight amount to be able to get a shot on your enemy. Just means that you should, if you side scrape correctly in this tank, you should never have to reveal your front armour. If you're not 100% sure what side scraping is, then just check it out on YouTube. I'm sure there will be some very good educational videos on how to achieve it. So back to this game. Taking the standard heavy tank route, which is to this southern area, I'm going to try and keep the enemy pinned on their ramp there. If you can keep the enemy pinned down on that ramp, then it means that they have to jostle for position exactly like these guys are doing for them to be able to get a hit. But it does mean that where these guys are is a little bit more exposed and the risk of them being taken out is a lot greater, although they have taken out 2 of the enemy without any reply. Just trying to have a shot on the very top of the turret of that IS-3 there. Unfortunately either missed or didn't penetrate. I didn't hear any crew voice there, so probably just didn't hit. This IS-8 just using his speed and manoeuvrability to try and get down into this lower area so that he can come up behind those rocks and try and poke some damage into the side armour of these tanks. A good tactic. So we're going to see if that one pays off. Unfortunately not quite hitting that IS-3 again. Luckily the front plate on this thing is very thick. It has 170 front armour and the slope on it seems to be the perfect angle. So when angled ever so slightly to the left or right of your enemy, they will bounce their shots a large majority of the time. So still just fighting for position with each other and trying to get some hits on these tanks here. It looks like they are managing to push them back a little bit, and IS comes out probably a little bit too far. Trying to decide whether to go oblique on that side armour or shoot at the top of his turret. Not sure if that one went through, as again I didn't hear a crew voice, but maybe should have. Perhaps I have buggered up the crew voices by reversing this clip at the beginning. Not 100% sure how that works. Nope. Crew voice did indeed work when he punched a shot right through the front of that IS, so probably just missed against that IS, which is a bit of a shame. So the E75 just going to go down and take that IS-8 on head-to-head, as the E75 has the armour and the firepower to go one-on-one with the IS-8 and be able to duel with him. Brilliant shot on that T-30 there, the tank destroyer being able to take him out. So the IS-8 isn't really a match. Wow, that looks like their own artillery took almost 800 hit points off their allied E75, so a bit of a shame for that. But like I said, the IS-8 is more of a fast and manoeuvrable tank, so compared to the E75, you should easily be able to just face tank him and take him out of the game, and he indeed has been taken out. So they are just going to force back these guys here as they no longer have that position on the shelf to rely on. Just going to charge forward and try and take out this IS-3, because as of yet nobody has managed to get a shot through the monstrous front armour of this we'll just call it a VK, because saying the whole thing is a bit too long. VK4502P Ausf. A bit too long-winded. So able to get a good shot through the front of that IS-3 there and fell back, and as you can see he's angled ever so slightly to the right of this tank, which means that it's an increased chance of getting a ricochet. And indeed did get a ricochet. IS-3 making a bit of a mistake there and trying to track his gun around on that Type 59 rather than just keeping it focused on the VK here or that T-29 that was there. So Werewolf 20 just spotting that their base is getting a little bit compromised. They have one tank destroyer left back there for defense, and they have a couple of medium tanks and a heavy tank moving in on that. In fact, 3002 DB really going to regret this, but as you can see, their artillery has already been taken out, so already at a bit of a disadvantage, and that lone tank destroyer that was defending has been spotted now, and it's just going to be an easy case for the enemy to take him out, and there's not going to be much more base defense that he can get done. So T-71 coming in to try and aid the 3002 DB, gets a shot on the VK, but it looked like he was using HE shells, so not really going to do that much damage. As you can see, hitting right on the engine top there, stopping around behind the back of the VK, which was a bit of a mistake, because even at his slow speed, able to ram him in reverse and just take that last 20 hit points off, because this tank is such a monster. Its weight is so high compared to the T-71 that just even in the reverse speed, able to take him out. One more shot, able to take out the DB, and going to turn back now onto their own bases. He's pretty much the only one in range. I think they have a Type 59 left, but it's going to be a bit difficult for him to track all the way back to the base before this base capture comes off. It looks like the enemy has, what is that, Type 59 and a T-54? Yes, a Type 59 and a T-54. So I can just tell you from experience that this thing is painfully slow, especially if you don't have the top tier engine. The top tier engine makes it kind of bearable, but if you haven't got that engine upgraded, if you've got the stock engine or even the second engine, this thing is woefully slow. So as you can see, base capture already up to 75%. Even before he gets in, up to the 85 now, just needs to spot somebody out and get a shot on them. Unfortunately, that T-54 is hiding behind all those crates there, so this shot really, wow, that shot had to count because the timer had just ticked over to 100 there, but able to get a shot on that T-54. So normally the idea would be to switch your target to the other tank just to take the base capture points off, but because that T-54 has such low health, it's probably better to take him out of the game immediately, because that's another gun that isn't focusing on you and shooting you. Not sure what's happened to their Type 59. It looks like he is just AFKing at A9. Maybe he DC'd there or something, so it looks like it's just himself and this. Is that a T-29? It is a T-29. So just going to take out this T-54, who took a little bit more punishment than perhaps he should have, as the T-54 is a bit of a beast to take out. Unfortunately, Werewolf 20 still has 100% hit points in this tank, which is 1,950. So it's going to be a mammoth task for this Type 59 to be able to take him out, and it's going to be a bit of a big ask, probably not going to be able to do it. And unfortunately for the Type 59, the turret and hull traverse combined of the VK is more than enough to keep up with him trying to circle him. So absolutely amazing piece of defense there from Werewolf 20, showing off his skills in the VK4502P Ausf B. So absolutely brilliant clip. Thank you very much for sending that one in, and thank you to you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.